and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Scriptly Adapted Artist Roundtable. I'm Kyoto.
And I'm Kate.
Listen, we got a great show for you today. We have two great artists.
Yes.
We recently just watched a film.
Yes.
That was pretty awesome, I must say. We have Libby Larkin.
Woohoo!
And we have Tristen Stafford. Welcome to
Hello.
you guys.
How's it going? Thank you so much for having us.
No,
yeah, seriously, thank you so much.
Well, thank us a little bit, or tell the fans, the people who are going to be watching, a little bit about the film, what they can expect from it, from you guys' perspective. Libby, if you want to go first.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is just such a great representation of like a fun, queer, like stoner flick that I know Tristen and I were talking about this like a couple months ago about how nice it is to kind of dive into one of those like classic stoner films, but making it queer and having like that ability to make it more individualized, you know, based off of like having it be more unique in that regard. And so I don't know, it's just like, not only is it so beautifully like shot and like having all of these beautiful colors and like it being so vibrant, but also having it be kind of feel good and living in that, like, I don't know, I'm just so proud to be a part of like a queer film and like having it be so enjoyed in all of these festivals. And, you know, it's truly an honor, and I love it. You know, it's great.
Tristen, from your perspective about the film Pretenders and as the director, you know, give us a little bit about the film itself and what you were going for.
So a lot of this for me has been really rebelling against your everyday LGBTQ film where it's two lesbians in the 18th and 19th century that have no electricity and everybody hates who they are. And
oh God.
And so I just kind of wanted to, you know, I don't know, this movie kind of, I don't know if it necessarily was a catalyst, but it's very good to look at in terms of my growth as a queer person. I don't know, with so many gay movies, I don't see people that, you know, do stupid shit like I do. You know, I can't find, as a queer person, I can't find my own representation in queer film. And I wanted to do that with characters that are not, you know, they're people I can identify with. They're idiot goofballs who are struggling with their friends, and they kind of want to figure out their own interpersonality.
You know, it's funny you say that, because what I loved about the film was, even though it is a real accurate representation of how you feel as an artist, and maybe even in your own experiences in life, what I loved about the film was, even though the characters were part of the LGBTQ community, it also was not only about that. It was about young people going vacation, having fun with their friends.
It's freedom. I mean, I remember when Tristen was like, I don't want the main focus to be the, you know, the lesbian relationship. Like I truly wanted to surround, I'm so happy that it was perceived in that way, because that was our goal. You know what I mean?
It's like, if John Hughes did Clerks but gay and for Gen Z kids.
You know what?
Yeah.
And for Gen Z kids,
Actually pretty accurate.
Because Kate mentioned last night while we were watching the film that it felt like a 90s.
Yeah.
It had like a throwback 90s feel.
Yes.
And now that you mentioned Clerk, did you say Clerk? I believe you said Clerk.
Yeah.
Clerks,
Yeah.
That visual now came in my head. I was like, oh my God, we couldn't think of the movie.
You know what's
just
funny
like,
too, is it kind of has like almost like a euphoric feel to it, and I think it's the color you have, and it's almost like, you know, even though you're dealing with real heavy life stuff, at the end of the day, it's like we're just trying to enjoy life, you know. So that kind of, you had that feel from it through the editing and stuff. So actually, it's a great segue, because I wanted to kind of touch on how the elements of the film. So the first thing that I noticed was the sound editing. I noticed that right off the top.
Ooh, that's so nice to hear.
Tell us a little bit about the sound editing, why you chose to go that route, what the sounds meant to you, like why, like even the time, Libby, where your character was trying on the jacket when you guys went back to Charlie's house, and there was that weird, like almost like horror film kind of sound you had going on, like the piano, right? So tell us about that. What was your thought process with working with the, you know, in post-production with the sound editing?
So this soundtrack is incredible. Very, just without a doubt. The guy who I worked on it with put so much love and energy into this thing. And he was so transparent with me to the point where like he would send me stems of each song. So like he would give me one track of just the steel guitar, give me one track of just the drum, and I could do whatever I wanted with it. The idea of it came more from just, I wanted to be as vibrant as I could be. You know, everybody talks about the color of this movie, and I think it ties really in well to the sound of the movie, to the music. It's just the most it could be. It's always at 11. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way things click in my head, but just if they're not so readily apparent to me, they just don't sit well.
But another thing that I picked up on was the performances.
Yes.
I really enjoyed, and Libby, your performance as Jasper was, to us, spot on. You killed it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, easy there, Chica. One must approach these situations with tact, and you don't have the same age-old experience as I do with these kind of things.
Authentic, it felt real. You know, it's
Relatable.
almost relatable. Like we made no, like almost like we knew people.
Yeah.
Like we knew you.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I have a friend who reminds me just like of Jack.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
with that, like did you have to? I don't know. Did you have to do some type of? I don't know your acting background, which I'm going to get to. Like, what's your acting background? Did you have to go into a place of trying to find Jasper? Did you create Jasper? How did that all come about?
I studied acting in college, but Tristen and my roommate at the time, Emma, who's also in the movie, they were doing sides at the house, trying to, you know, get ready for callbacks or whatever. And so I just kind of came in one day, they're like, oh, can you like read for this character? And I ended up doing that. And then Tristen was like, oh, you're literally this character. And I was like, yes, amazing. I think the character itself is just like maybe a little bit more immature, LOL. Yes. The character's
More mature.
A little bit more immature than I am, and a lot more of a stoner. But then other than that, like the way that I articulate my words is the same way that Jasper does. So it was just kind of like so much fun to bleed my personality into this character.
What was the most rewarding aspect of being in The Pretenders?
It's like, I've always wanted to play a queer leading role. Like that's literally been my dream since I was a kid. It's like, I just want to be that like queer character that like maybe like a queer kid can relate to or look up to, or like something like that, where it's like just like representation, you know what I mean? And so I was so excited to do something that was, you know, like non-binary, androgynous, like living in this world of like being more masculine presenting, but also being a goofball and it not being so serious and it not being like over sexualized. I wanted to be like the goofy, you know, like very gender fluid, like, you know what I mean? Like kind of playing in that world of it being more cartoony. And I think that was the most rewarding part, is actually having that being perceived.
Tristen, how did you get into directing? Like, is this something you've always wanted to do, or?
I work terribly for other people. I saw a movie when I was 16 and I was like, oh, I could make that. And at the time I thought the genre of coming of age was indie. I thought it was just called indie. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I mean, I was 15 or 16. And so I wrote this movie, and I just kind of started there. I just wrote a movie. I tried to make it in college. It sucked, but I was like, all right, cool. And then I made a couple shorts in sketch. I was in a sketch comedy group for a while where I kind of directed all those videos. And I like some music videos here and there. And then this was my first, I saw this movie that I love. This one I remember. It's called Dance Party USA. And it's this really just weird underground 2005 movie. And it was all improvised. And I was like, oh, dang, I want to try that. So I wrote a 10-page outline, and I got a cast of like 7 people together. And it was just generally recounting the events of like my experience with my friend passing and like how me and my friends kind of hung out. And that was my first real attempt. The movie was weird, and I cut it down to like 30 minutes. But that was when I realized, hey, I can make a movie.
You guys doing like a film festival circuit? Like what is there anyone else or anywhere else you you're gonna have it?
So we've submitted to a zillion places. We have a zillion places we haven't heard back from yet. But we did get into New York City Independent Film Festival.
And this is a question for both of you guys. Do you see these types of roles like Jaspers opening up doors for more storytelling, LGBTQ community representation wise?
I mean, I really, really hope so. I think I see it already happening. Like, there is starting to be more representation in the real world of like having way more queer characters that aren't like the story doesn't just surround them being gay. You see all this representation that's starting to bleed into, mainstream media. And that's something that, I'm just so grateful to be alive during a time, and especially like working in the industry during a time where like there is an ability to go in and be a queer character, but it's not all about just being a queer character. Does that make sense? Like, I'm literally just another character, and it just so happens that I'm dating a woman, and that's not the focal point of the entire piece, which is another reason why I was so happy to be a part of this project, because it's about the friendship.
I think that when you have a genuinely diverse representation of queer characters on screen, more people are apt to realize within themselves their own queerness. Adding that layer with like levity is that's been important to me. I mean, I had to make the dang thing to realize, hey, I'm kind of gay,
Right.
If you're making a movie, you're making a movie. You're not documenting life, and you have to heighten certain things and block certain things and get things really tight. But my favorite movie right now is Magnolia by Paul Thomas Anderson. After I saw that movie, I had like a Michael Jordan moment where I was like, wait a minute, I have the capacity to do that. I know for a fact I can do this.
Currently, like as an adult, Get Out is one of my favorite movies. I thought it was so well written, so well shot. I thought everything was so satisfying. Like Pretenders movie, that's like our Instagram, handle for this film. And then mine is at Libby Larkin _. And then follow me on TikTok for laughs, and that's Lobby Larkin, because that's where I get to be my authentic self is on TikTok.
You said that in the driest way. Oh my God.
If you want to come for a laugh,
follow me for a laugh. We operate mainly on Instagram as at Pretenders the movie. And then we've got like a bunch of links on like a link tree there with like tickets and whatever and upcoming screenings. And then my Instagram is at haha yeah sure. You can catch Pretenders at New York City Indie Fest starting on June 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
June 6th. Congratulations on that, guys.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the film. Thank you for joining Scriptly Adapted Artist Roundtable. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Scriptly Adapted Artist Roundtable. We have been joined by Libby Larkin of the film Pretenders. We've also been joined by Tristen Stafford, the director of Pretenders. Thank you guys for joining us. It's been an awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Seriously.
On the film festival circuit. Hey, thank you guys.
Take care, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If I didn't allow space for improvisation, for feeling it out, for just loosen up and having fun, the movie would have been very different and not as lovely and not as wonderful.